Let's talk about niching down in your service-based business. Hey, I'm Christina Marie Anderson, the owner here at Wander Soul Co., a web development studio packed with personality. And I build websites for female service providers who have their own community of over 1,000 subscribers, but they've built this community on a third-party platform that they don't own, and they're tired of doing everything manually and wondering exactly how a website fits into the mix of automating their business and helping them reach their audience through passive income sources. If that sounds like you're going to want to hit the subscribe button because I share honest, relatable content that will help you make sure you have a strategic website in place and also help you feel really comfortable and confident that you are offering the best client experience that you can to your audience. And today I want to talk to you about my own niche. So, what you just heard me describe, and talk a little bit about how I got here from the very beginning of my business. I will keep it sort of condensed for you. I don't need to go through every up and down that I've had since then, but niching down is a process. I think we hear people talk about niching down as if it's something that you can just sort of like force into your business. And I want to talk a little bit how that's not true and talk about how I went from a very broad niche and how I took steps to get closer to where I am now. I really had this sort of light bulb moment last week when I was talking with a fellow service provider, specifically about the package that I'm offering. And it all just sort of came together in this beautiful, very, very nuanced niche that's like speaking to a specific group of people. So I'm going to talk a little bit about all of those different things today in hopes that it helps you understand sort of how you can look at your own journey as a service provider finding their own niche. So to start off, I'll kind of hit on the major points of finding my own niche and how I was able to hone in on who I want to work with. So starting way back at the beginning, back in 2017, I started a business where I literally said that I would do whatever someone needed, sort of like weird, creepy sex acts, like just selling drugs. That's not what I meant. But I lived in Colorado at the time and I was just trying to supplement my income. And I kind of worked as a nanny. I'd done a little bit of dog sitting. I was like a pretty intelligent human being. And I just kind of thought there was like more that I could be doing to make money and pay off. I had credit card debt and living in Colorado was expensive. So I was just trying to like do better for myself. So in the beginning, I told people I would nanny their kids, walk their dogs, pick up their mail from the post office because in the like mountain towns of Colorado, you don't get your own mailbox in a lot of places. I built a website for free for someone, which did not supplement my income, but has since paid off as a client. She's my longest client to date. And she does pay me money now. But again, like kind of just offered whatever I possibly could. Fast forward to 2020 when I got a little bit more serious about starting my business and I knew that I had a lot of skills at that point in time. I'd worked a lot in client experience and a lot of the world was moving online in 2020 and people needed virtual assistants. So I worked with female entrepreneurs as their virtual assistant. So that was sort of my next step. And you'll see here that both my services and who I work with niches down over time, which is certainly part of finding your niche. A niche is not just specifically who you work with, it's also the type of work that you do for them. So 2020 and a little bit of 2021, I was working as a virtual assistant, also sort of a personal assistant in some ways to some of my clients, doing things like inputting insurance claims and things that I like really did not enjoy doing and that were stressful to me because I'd never even done those things in my own life. And here I am taking the reins to do it for someone else. Then at the beginning of 2021, I was working with two clients that were a terrible fit for me. Both of them were female entrepreneurs, totally different industries. One was an interior designer. One had just written a book and had formerly been a marketing executive who was building her own business around her book and her message. And neither one of them was paying me enough to do the work that they needed. And there was just some sort of like misalignment between what was going on. So that led me to realize that being a virtual assistant or an online business manager just like really wasn't my thing. It was too stressful. I didn't want to be that involved in people's businesses, and I didn't want to come up against like a lot of the friction points that I was having with these clients. So from here, I niched down to web design, and I pretty quickly decided that I was working in WordPress and Elementor and was going to do design days. So I niched down my services, and I continued to work with female entrepreneurs. Not to say that I wouldn't work with men if they came to me and really wanted to work with me, but was targeting female entrepreneurs. That's definitely been a thread through this entire time. And that's pretty much who I've worked with, just kind of female entrepreneurs, which is an extremely broad category. That's who I've worked with for the past 2-ish years. But last year, I kind of started niching down a little bit further to working specifically with established female entrepreneurs that had a successful business already. But then last week, I had a light bulb moment, absolute light bulb moment while I was talking with a fellow service provider named Jessica Kennedy. And this takes female service providers, female entrepreneurs, 6-figure female founders. Those are all still really generic. And I realized that this new offer called the Impactful Entrepreneur Experience that I have come up with for my ideal client, it pertains specifically to a subset of female entrepreneurs who offer a service-based business. They offer services to their clients, and they've built a community somewhere that they don't own. This could be Facebook, a Facebook group. This could be an Instagram following. This could be a podcast following if there's not a strategic website in place with the podcast. This could be a YouTube following. It could probably exist in a few other places as well. But these are all third-party platforms that the business owner does not own. And so they're not only missing out on the chance to bring their subscribers into their own universe by having a website, but they're also doing a lot of things manually in their business because YouTube subscribers and Facebook group members don't just automatically move over to your email list or your CRM. And it's a lot more difficult to monetize those audiences in a passive way if you don't have any place to send them. Like, sure, you can sell someone your services through a video or Instagram posts, but if you want them to purchase something from you, you really need a platform for them to purchase from you, which is where your website fits in. So you can see in my progression that over time, 2 things happened. Number 1, I got more specific on the services that I wanted to offer. So websites specifically, but websites and also integrating them with all of the important tools that it takes to run a business, setting up things like deadline funnels and email marketing and welcome sequences, and making sure that blogging is happening on the website because that's so important for search engine optimization. And also connecting a website to a scheduling functionality or a CRM of some sort so that leads can be automatically added into a system as opposed to having to like track names and emails and like just kind of have everything all over the place and be doing things very manually. So services niche down, and I knew that this is the package that I wanted to offer. I knew that the people that I want to work with, they don't just need a website. They don't just need, a place to send people. They need a marketing machine that works for them 24/7 without having to hire an employee. Maybe they're not ready for that yet. And the second thing that happened is while the top level of my niche is still female entrepreneurs, over time, I got more specific about what that looked like. So I knew that I wanted to work with established entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, because once they're established, they have money to be spending on a website. It's really hard to spend money on a website before you have income coming in. I get that. Not to say that they hadn't created one themselves, or like people who aren't established might still have a website because they can create one themselves, but investing in a website takes some capital coming into the business. I also, further from there, I like to work with other service providers, brand designers, social media managers, people who are providing educational resources to their audience, people who are selling courses, but not doing so in a scammy or spammy way, because I don't deal with any of that bullshit around here. I'll just go ahead and say it. Then from there, I further niche down to people who already have a community. They're looking to bring their community into their own space as opposed to only communicating with them through whatever third-party platform. Because we all know that Instagram accounts get shut down, YouTube users get banned, Facebook groups can just disappear overnight. And those things aren't sustainable long-term if you don't own that information. So that is, my journey with niching down. And again, sort of two parallel paths that converge to make both the package that I'm offering and the people that I'm offering it to really match up and be in sync with the work that I want to do and the work that my ideal clients need in their world. And the natural extension of this is that it becomes a lot easier to talk to your ideal client. And yes, now that I am so terribly specific about who I want to work with, like I feel like I can get inside of their mind. I know these women. I've worked with these women before. I work with some of them now. I know the way that they think, and that's going to make it so much easier to serve them with my services than if I was still working at that like top level. Oh, I work with female entrepreneurs, or even I work with six-figure female founders. That's not particularly specific. And it leaves a lot of room for interpretation of what's really going to reel them in and let them know that like, I am your girl for web design. So the more specific that you can get with your niche and with your services, the easier it becomes to write your copy, write your blog posts, write your social media, figure out, your topics for all of these things. So we all hear about niching down, and it's something that a lot of people think they can just decide what their niche is, but it takes a little bit more understanding and experience and like collecting data, even if you're not literally crunching the numbers of the data that you have, knowing how you feel working with someone or a subset of people, knowing what projects light you up, like those are the things that are going to bring you closer to understanding what your niche is. And you can't do that without getting out there and trying things out. So if you are a service-based business owner, you've been trying to niche down and you're just not sure, just keep following the path, follow the rabbit down the hole, and continue to make note of the projects that light you up, the type of work you love, and slowly pivot yourself in the direction of the projects that really make you happy and the clients that really make you happy. And the more that you can do that, the more that you are going to find a specific subset of the population that you're talking about, a specific offer that fits them perfectly. And the more that you're going to be able to communicate directly with them, connect with them, do what Ashlyn Carter over at Ashlyn Wright says is like the head nod, like, oh yeah, that's me. The more that you hone your niche and understand your niche, the better you're going to be at marketing yourselves to them as the solution to their problems and actually being the solution to their problems. It's not just about marketing to them, but it's about knowing intimately what they need and what they want and helping them achieve that successfully. So if you are niching down, just keep following the path. You've got this. And if you have any questions about how I went from offering anything to anyone to getting really specific about the website package and the people that I'm offering that package to. Please drop them in the comments below. Or as always, you can shoot me an email at hello@wandersoulco.com. I'm always so happy to hear from my followers here on YouTube or anybody who's new to this space. And I look forward to being back next week with a new video for you.